So the letter G stands for gain awareness. This is where we're trying to determine who is the personality standing in front of us, because you can't meet their needs if you don't even know who they are in the first place. So we have to begin here. And this is where I'm going to give you some speed reading tips. But I will tell you that the hardest part of determining someone else's personality is paying attention to them. Because if we're being honest, who are we normally focused on? Us, right? What we need to do, where we need to go. And you're missing all the clues that people are giving you that let you know what their personality is. And the real estate agent that figures them out fastest is the one that wins. This is the one that's going to create connection and build trust. And unfortunately, you don't have the luxury of saying, excuse me, Mr. Buyer or Seller, would you mind taking this personality assessment so I know how to work with you? And so you have to instead look for the clues. Now, I call these clues pace, pleasantries, and priorities. These are three of the things you can focus on. And the first one you can even do over the phone. Oftentimes, the first time we have contact with a client is not in person, it's over the phone. And so pay attention to pace. Now, by pace, I mean this: listen to how they're speaking. Are they speaking quickly or are they speaking slowly? If someone is speaking quickly, or the second you stop talking, they give you a response, or they didn't even let you stop talking and they talked over the end of your sentence. All of those are clues. If they are doing any of those three, they're speaking quickly, the second you stop talking, they give you a response, or they didn't even let you finish talking and they talked over the end of your sentence. That is one of two personality types. That is either a dominant D or an inspiring I personality. Now, you may also have the opposite. Perhaps they speak slowly. Or I don't know if this has ever happened to you, but you're talking to someone on the phone, and as soon as you're done talking, you have to do this because you don't know if they're even still there, because there was just this silence, this pause, and you're like, are you still there? If that happens, that is an S or a C personality. That's an S or a C personality, because they're processing what you said and they want to make sure that they give you the correct answer. And so that pause is a huge clue. The question is, are you paying attention? Are you noticing the pause in the first place? Because if you don't, you're missing out and it's costing you deals in real estate. All right. And this is where most agents miss it, because they're so focused on what they want to say that they miss who they're talking to. And if you miss that, you're already behind in the conversation. Now, the next thing you can focus on is called pleasantries. Now, what does this mean? This means, how did they greet you? So this is someone who is now in front of you. How did that first interaction go? The first time you met them, the initial meeting, what did that look like? There's a lot of clues there. The biggest one is, how did they shake your hand? Okay, how did they shake your hand? D's have a very firm and fast handshake. They're going to stick to business. So as soon as they shake your hand, they may already be asking about the processes, the tasks that you're about to accomplish, what they're there to do. That's what it's about for a D. So they're shaking your hand, it's firm and fast, and they're going straight into business. Now, an I is very different. An I has an animated handshake. They may be pumping your arm up and down. The handshake may last longer than it's supposed to. They may skip the handshake completely and go straight in for the hug. And they're focusing on the experience. They're saying things like, oh, I'm so glad to meet you. This is going to be so fun. That type of thing. All right. Now, the S type has a very soft, respectful handshake. It's kind of like a little butterfly, a little feather. They're focusing on just accepting this process. They're trying to get comfortable with what's about to happen. So they're going to be pleasant, but they may have this little bit of an overwhelmed look on their face at the same time. A C has what I call the dead fish. All right. They have the clammy, formal, stiff, might be sweaty handshake. They don't want to be touching you. There's probably antibacterial soap somewhere within reach. In fact, if you've ever gone to hug someone and they stuck their hand out instead, that is a cautious C personality. And they're also going to focus on business, just like our dominant D. Now, the next thing you want to pay attention to is priorities. In other words, what are they talking about? You've now had the initial greeting. You're now in conversation. What types of things are they talking about? Are they talking about their needs for their family? Are they talking about things that will make them look good to someone else if they do these things? Are they talking about long-term appreciation? All of these are clues. So what are they talking about? Here's specifically what you'll find with each of the personalities. The dominant Ds are interested in moving quickly. They're usually jumping straight into the task. They're moving their hands, by the way, with short, blunt, authoritative movements. They sit on the edge of the chair. They wear comfortable shoes, and they're focusing on status and prestige. They're asking questions about, is this the best? Is there any custom? What are the upgrades? What's the most? See, they want the biggest, the best, the most, because they like when other people think highly of them, when other people look up to them. And so pay attention to the types of things that they're saying and what they're doing as they're moving around. Are they sitting on the edge of the chair and leaning forward in your office when they're talking to you? That's a huge clue, because they're waiting for action. They're waiting for something to happen. Did they reach for something on your desk without asking for it? Or maybe they asked, but they already have possession before they even have it. Do you mind if I use this? You see, I already have it. So it doesn't matter what you say. Are they showing you through the house instead of you showing them through the house? That is a clue. They're trying to make progress, move forward quickly. All right. I types. These are the ones, by the way, are probably going to be late for the appointment. They like to dress in colorful clothes. They like to talk stories and share excitement. They talk with their hands in very flowy, animated movements. And they also want to focus on status and prestige. They want to know, how is doing this going to make me look good to other people? How is this going to make me get more friends? How is this going to make me popular? That's what they care about. Now you have your supportive S. These guys are more laid back. They have a more relaxed pace. They dress in casual, comfortable clothing, and they're asking questions about the neighborhoods, about how close is the local hospital? Are the schools within walking distance? Things like that are what they want to know. And they don't talk with their hands. They have very limited hand gestures. They have them by their side, maybe in their pocket. All right. Sometimes they put them up like this. And these are the ones that are going to be taking notes while you're speaking. So maybe they have their phone out and they're typing in the notes app, or they brought pen and paper and they're taking notes. And they're not focused on status and prestige. They're focused on safety and security. So a totally different shift. Now, here's the challenge. The two most loyal customers you'll ever get are the supportive S and the next one I'm going to talk about, which is the cautious C. But it's difficult for real estate agents to get them as clients. They're the most loyal you'll ever have, but here's the challenge. They don't buy or sell like you. And so you may think they're not a serious buyer or seller because they don't move quickly like you do. And so you're losing the most loyal customers you can ever have. All right. So it's so vital that you understand who you're interacting with. The C types are focused on details. These are the ones that come in, they've got every hair in place, they're wearing conservative colors, very muted tones, or they have that kind of Albert Einstein look with the messy hair and the crazy Coke bottle glasses, all right? They focus on construction quality, on long term appreciation, on the methodology. In other words, say this is a seller. How did you arrive at this value for my home? They want to know how you got there, they want to see it in black and white. These guys have a furrowed brow. They may show up with a list of questions for you, and they're also going to take notes while you're talking. And they're focused on safety and security, just like our supportive S types. So we have now gained awareness.